Hello and welcome to UCL. My name is Helene Neveu Kringelbach. I'm an anthropologist and an associate professor in African studies at the School of European Languages, Culture and Society. I am also the Vice Dean for Equality, Diversity and Inclusion for the Arts and Humanities faculty. As Vice Dean, I work with colleagues and students to make sure that the faculty is an inclusive space in which everyone is able to thrive and flourish regardless of their social background, nationality, race, ethnicity, ability, religious affiliation, gender, or sexual orientation. For this, I also work with the UCL Central Equality, Diversity and Inclusion team, which has been working for several years now to change the culture of the university. So we work very hard to make sure that everyone feels at home at UCL, and to do this, we work at 3 different levels. Firstly, at an individual level, we offer support to students in cases of bullying, harassment, or racist abuse. This does not happen often, but universities are social spaces like any other, and sadly these things do happen. Should this happen to you, do speak to your personal tutor and to your student officers at the student union, and they will direct you to specialized support at UCL. Do not go quietly with painful experiences weighing on your mind, and do not let things fester. The last thing we want is for you to become isolated because you feel you have no one to turn to. Then, although this might be less visible, we also want you to know that staff are doing a great deal of work to educate themselves on questions of race, religion, sexuality, and other factors that may act as barriers in various aspects of life. Part of our work is to support staff in this process of self-education and to encourage everyone to go further, even though this inevitably means moving out of one's comfort zone. We do this through various training programs, for example, anti-racism training programs, which are gradually being rolled out throughout the university, and which some departments within arts and humanities have already pioneered. As another example, some colleagues have taken the initiative to ask UCL to provide specific training for autistic managers. And of course, this has to happen alongside everyone educated themselves on autism and other neurodiverse conditions. But how does this relate to events in the wider world? We've all been deeply affected by the terrible events of the past few months, from the murder of George Floyd and police brutality in the US, to the specific ways in which some ethnic minorities have been particularly exposed to COVID-19. But in fact, the concern with equity and inclusion is not new at UCL, it's just that it has become a top priority now. Secondly, at a departmental and faculty level, we're working very hard to make sure that all our programs and departments are inclusive environments where all students and staff can flourish to the best of their ability. For example, there is a great deal of work underway in all departments to achieve the Famous One Awards, a national label which recognizes work done to promote the progression and careers of women and trans students and staff. But the awards themselves are not important. What is important is the open discussions behind the scenes on all forms of inequities. You may be asked to take part in focus group discussions or surveys to give your opinion on these issues, and we will be tremendously grateful for your contribution to this crucial work. Your departments and programs are also rethinking their curricula on a regular basis, trying their best to make sure that they include a genuine diversity of authors and perspectives. Academic programs in the UK are often Eurocentric, and UCL is no exception to this. But there is now a recognition that we have a great deal to learn from decentering whiteness, from questioning Eurocentrism in the production of knowledge. And transforming curricula is a process in which you too can become involved. And there's a lot more going on. Last spring, the Arts and Humanities faculty organized 2 town halls on systemic racism and structural inequities, one for students and one for staff. And our action plan this year was partly designed in response to those conversations. And thirdly, at the university level, a lot of effort is being invested into reaching out to potential applicants who might not see UCL as an obvious place for them, through school visits, summer schools for students from diverse backgrounds, and a number of other initiatives run by the university, often in collaboration with the student union. There is also increasing financial help available to students from underprivileged backgrounds and those who suffer hardship, though there is a lot more work to be done on that front, I must say. And importantly, UCL is committed to increasing diversity among its staff at all levels, not only because it's a moral imperative to do so, but also because it is through a great diversity of perspectives, backgrounds, and experiences that excellence is achieved. And finally, let me end on a personal note. As a Black woman whose first language is French, who was raised by a single mother, who went to school, in secondary school, in overcrowded classrooms in the Ivory Coast, I didn't think there would be a place for me in academia, and certainly not in the UK. And yet I feel at home at UCL. And I very much hope that you will feel at home with us. Welcome to UCL.